All right, cool. Welcome to a episode of Coffee with Exile, where I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff here today. I do have cold coffee, the Monster Energy coffee. Don't recommend it, by the way. But yeah, let's begin. The first things first. The game I'm playing right now is called Salt and Sacrifice. If you guys want me to play this for the channel, just let me know down in the comment section below. But let's get started. First off, I have noticed that the support for my channel has definitely dropped, and I completely understand. The channel first started because I wanted to make guides for King's Raid, and well, King's Raid is dead in the general sense. So it's completely understandable, especially with the direction that I'm taking this channel in, where I'm just like uploading different games, completely away from the original formula in which this channel started, which was gacha games. Now, I'm still gonna be covering some gacha games, but I'm just not gonna be covering them as a whole, and I'm not gonna be. I'm definitely gonna go more toward the free to play aspects of gacha games, except for Path to Nowhere, in which I'll buy the battle pass and like the monthly passes. A little bit compared to what I used to do before. So again, when it comes to support for this channel, if you guys don't wish to continue to support this channel, especially with the direction I'm going with it, it's completely understandable, but you gotta kind of put this in mind that gacha games are not good for your mental health in a general sense, especially for your wallet in that aspect. And kind of just came to that realization that, yeah, this is not one, this channel doesn't make money from the content I produce. So I'm not making money back from what I'm spending on gacha games to produce the content for you guys. And because of that, it's like it's a loose situation for me. So I can't produce content like that for you guys when the content is not balancing itself out. I'm not saying that I started this channel to make money, but at the same time, it's like, why am I spending money on a game that one, like, it's kind of like, for example, in King's Raid, I spent a lot of money on King's Raid and the game died, right? And instead of having like a good supportive community around that game, especially like toward the beginning when I started doing content for King's Raid, it was horrible. It is like the worst experience I've ever had. And then the middle was really kind of like, it was all right, and then the end was just horrendous at the again, because the community that was left for King's Raid at the end, it was probably the worst community I've ever been a part of. So again, the sacrifice does not match the reward. One, I'm not making money from my content. Again, that's not the primary reason why I started this channel, but it would have been nice to make money out of it. But just the overall attitude wasn't worth the money I was spending into it. It's not an investment. It's just throwing away money, especially what gacha games are as a whole. Is that a bad thing? No, and I'm gonna talk about that toward the end, where what I feel about gacha games in general. But one of the main things I want to talk about first is of course King's Raid. And again, like I mentioned before, I feel like King's Raid definitely killed it for me. When King's Raid died, it's dead. All right, even though the game's still up, the game is dead. I don't care what you say. I don't care. Oh, there's still players. Yeah, the players, they're on a sinking ship right now. So that's basically what it is. I was kind of hoping that the content creators that are still playing King's Raid would have been fucking man enough to tell you, hey, the company filed for bankruptcy, right? The reason why I didn't do that was because when I was playing King's Raid, toward the end, I voiced my dissatisfaction with the direction that the company was going in, and instead of having support from the community, they told me to fuck off. All right, they told me, hey, if you don't like the changes that the Vespa's doing, well, maybe you should leave and not make content. Okay, I left. I didn't make it ceremoniously. I didn't make it like a big deal. I just walked away. And I was kind of hoping that those people that stayed and told me to fuck off would have had the balls to say or come out to the community and tell them, hey, by the way, Vespa filed for bankruptcy sometime around November. They were hoping to get the bankruptcy claim with whatever bank system they have in Korea. Kind of settled in around December. It fell through. It didn't happen. And then they kind of remotioned the bankruptcy claim, and it's probably gonna go. They're hoping it goes through around June or July, but in between here and there, they're gonna start closing down servers. When I mentioned this to a few people in the Discord, a few of them were like, "Oh, well, where's your sources? Where's your sources?" That's not true. Vespa's still doing good. It's not. The company's doing really fucking bad. And I was kind of hoping that whatever content creators or players that are still playing, or even Vespa themselves, had the balls to kind of come out to the community and tell them, "Hey, by the way, we're in bankruptcy, and this is literally a sinking ship. You should probably walk away." None of the latter has happened. So when I mentioned this again, they said, "Oh, where's your sources?" It's not true. The sources come from the official Vespa King's Raid site. All right, I'm gonna leave it down in the description below because you guys want to go through it. It is in Korean, and no, I'm not gonna translate it for you guys. Okay, me and Vespa and that piece of shit community that was left of King's Raid in general, the ones that told me to fuck off, and that's basically what I did. The only reason why I'm bringing up King's Raid is because I wanted to talk about it. Let you guys know why I walked away. Where King's Raid's at, where Vespa's at. If you guys are still playing King's Raid and hoping that it's going to turn around, that King's Raid 2 is going to save, I'm going to say right now, it's not coming, all right? You should just walk away right now. When it comes to Vespa, that's it, Just literally walk away. If you guys want the actual stuff, like the actual links or everything, again, like I said, I'll put it down in the description below. I'm not translating it for you. Translating it for you guys. And it's not some like random site, okay? It comes from the actual Vespa official site. So that's your source. So again, I wanted to like bring that out. The reason why I walked away from King's Raid, why I didn't make it like a big deal about it, because whatever was left of the community told me to fuck off, and I did. So cool. To talk about something else, a little bit less joyless. The other game I was thinking about covering was Counterside. Unfortunately for Counterside, I don't feel like Counterside needs content creators. Well, it does a little bit, not much, because I feel like they have a wonderful online site. I'm gonna post it down in the description below. You guys want to visit that online site? I think it's very organized, very well made. It's actually a good place for you guys to go in and like kind of sneak peek into like extra stuff that might come out in the future, etc. So I feel like it doesn't really need it. And secondly, I feel like the game itself is structured in such a way that it's not like here you can use this character, and this character to clear it, but each account's completely different from one another. You can have one character that I have and a character that you have that I don't have, etc. So it's kind of hard to make content for it. The game's gear system is very convoluted and very, very convoluted. Actually, this is the best word to describe it. This is a very bad system for the gear. I feel like if you actually want hints, tips, and tricks for Counterside, you guys can just visit a Discord and ask questions. Probably be the best option. There's a lot of players in my Discord that cover King's Raid, and some of them are top players. So if you guys actually want hints and tips and tricks for Counterside, just go to my Discord and ask questions. There's actually a Counterside ping. Just go ping Counterside. Have a lot of top players playing Counterside that will give you the best tips possible, especially for what's going on right now. And just do that. Again, I wanted to cover Counterside. I just felt like there was no need for it. All right. Good game. The changes that they did, you kind of have to grow on me a little bit, but so far I've been having fun with it. All right, now when it comes to other types of games that I kind of wanted to cover on this channel, but I felt like there was no need, was Punishing Gray Raven. It's a great game. I still love it. I've been playing it since day one. Unfortunately, Punishing Gray Raven, it's been 3 times already. That's burned me out. All right, it's a game that's not. How should I say this? It's very repetitive. It is. It gets to the point where like, man, it's kind of a love and hate relationship with Punishing Gray Raven. There are patches that I really love this game. And then there are patches that were like, man, dude, we're doing this again. I feel like a lot of the content that they're releasing is not original. It's just recycled content, and they call it, oh, this is an event, guys. Because majority of the content in Punishing Gray Raven is recycled content. It's not original. Most of it, all right. Some of it is, some of it is original, but most of it, I'm gonna say 70% of the content in Punishing Gray Raven is recycled content. Like no imagination, and that's why it burns me out. I believe a player mentioned that Punching a Gray Raven is basically just a Pain Cage and Warzone game, and it feels like that sometimes, because the events are repetitive. It's nonstop. events, event through event through event through event. It's just it wears you out. There's no breathing room in between events. It's like as soon as that event's over, the next one's coming up, and it's repetitive. I'm not bashing the game entirely because I still think it's a great game. It's just one of those games that you're definitely gonna play Punching a Gray Raven and then probably drop it after like 2 or 3 months, and then pick it up in 2 or 3 months or a month later, and then pick it up again, and then might fall in love with it and then drop it again. And again, it's just how I feel. The game is kind of structured. It's not structured to keep you there for a very long time, and is in like the stamina system, which is understandable why the stamina system in Punching Gray Raven it is the way it is because it's a game made in China. So it has the same issues with Path to Nowhere, where like the stamina system it is the way it is because it's a immersive braking mechanic. It's meant to be that way. But when you have a game that's extraordinarily repetitive, like Punching Gray Raven is so far, and you got no room to breathe, basically, it does wear on you. Again, a game I wanted to cover on the channel. If you guys still want me to cover stuff on Punching Gray Raven, I don't feel like there's any need. I feel like there's great content creators out there for PGR, and I feel like there was no need for me to like step in those bounds, especially so late in the game, you know. But yeah, that's how I feel like about Punching Gray Raven. Great game. You guys should play it if you guys want to play it. Just keep that in mind with the structure that it is currently the structure that it's currently managing in. It's not so hot. All right, so just gonna keep that in mind. You'll probably get burned out. Talking about other games in general, again, I am covering Path to Nowhere. That is the main game I'm covering for this channel. It's probably because the game's starting pretty slow, and I like the way that they're managing it. In contrast to Punishing Gray Raven, where it's like content after content, like event after an event, where you're getting burnt out. I feel like Path to Nowhere does it generally pretty good. I feel like you do an event and then you take a break, you do other little things here and there, and then you start another event. Do another things here and there, and then like maybe they'll have a little side event. They give you breathing room, kind of like look around, build characters, save for future characters in general, and then go from there. So I feel like the structure for Path to Nowhere is relatively okay. Again, Punishing Ray Raven started that way too, and Punishing Ray Raven moved toward a pay-to-win aspect, a heavy pay-to-win aspect in Punishing Ray Raven. I hope that Path to Nowhere doesn't follow that trend and goes heavy pay-to-win. I feel like the way that they have it structured now is not bad, all right? It does feel like it needs more content, but they're doing that slowly as kind of like time passes by. I just hope that it maintains its integrity of how it is now, and it slowly kind of improve as they go without having to implement heavy pay-to-win monetary transactions into the game. It is a gacha game. It's understandable that you want to add some monetary aspects to it. You got to make money. It's a company, not a charity. It's understandable. I just hope it doesn't like push it too hard, Yeah, but that's about it for Path to Nowhere. Again, that is the main game I will still be covering for this channel, but it's not. It's one of those games that is like it's kind of like a side thing. Like it's the main game for me for gacha games, but it's a side thing because I got to push forward toward another. Basically like a different direction for this channel. They talk about in the beginning where I said, oh well, like gacha games, and about how it's not good for your mental health, but especially for me in general, because I got burned by Vespa, and I got burned by Vespa in other games and like as a whole, and I felt like I need to walk away from the gacha games in general. I'm still playing a few of them, but I feel like I need to start dropping them. Again, mental health wise, wallet wise, it's just not good, That's not to say anything bad about players who wish to spend money on games. I feel like, hey dude, if you're out there waking up every morning to make money, to pay for your to pay for something that you genuinely enjoy, hey dude, go for it. I feel like that's a good kind of like thought in mind. Like for me, for example, let's say Path to Nowhere. It's the only gacha game I'm still spending money on. $30 every 2 months or so. That's not bad. But I feel like, hey, I'm genuinely enjoying this game. I feel like spending a little money here and there, especially since it's free. They're not charging me to play the game. I feel like giving up a little bit of money is not bad, in just a general sense. But I feel like walking away from spending hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars, especially if you're one of those players that do that, you definitely need to walk away from that kind of mentality. It's completely understandable. Some players, well, not entirely understandable, but there are some people who have problems like that, and you have to look at gacha games like this. You're gambling. You're 100% gambling when you're playing with games that have loot boxes, games that have the games that are gacha games in general. You're gambling, all right, and that's the way I kind of just went up to see it. Is that you're paying for a chance to get something. That's 100% gambling. There's some games that do it right. There's some games that will say, oh, if you pay certain money, you will get this. You will get these items. But I'm gonna say like 8, 9 out of 10, it's all gambling, and that's why I kind of had to walk away from it. Mental health wise, it just wasn't doing it for me anymore. That's why I kind of wanted to stop covering gacha games in general. Well, not stop completely, because I still will be covering Paths to Nowhere. But in general, I kind of want to walk away from it. And that's why I switched gears on the channel and started covering other things. That's why it's completely understandable when I saw my subscriber count drop by a significant amount. I completely understand it. Because again, it's a huge change in gears. I was covering gacha games, now I'm covering console games, So it's completely understandable. But you have to understand that for me, in a personal sense, I just had to walk away. It's just better for me in the long run, especially for the future of this channel, and especially with what I'm going to be able to cover and produce in the future. So again, that's just my overall thoughts on whether or not you should spend money on gacha games. Again, if you're waking up every morning and you're working to get what you want to get, do it, man. It's your money. But just I feel like you should do it more responsibly. Or if you are doing it responsibly, kudos. If you're not, you're spending thousands of dollars. Again, it's your money. I give a shit what you do with your money. But just kind of keep that in mind. That I understand that. Well, for me, who spend quite a bit of money on gacha games already. I'm gonna say this: it's not an investment whatsoever. You're just throwing away money, basically. That's how I see it now. And again, it's kind of your own sense. Just make sure that the money you're spending is your money, and first off, is make sure it's your money that you're spending, and secondly, make sure that all your bills are paid and everything is set straight before you start spending money. It's just basically funds that you're using that you can I forgot what that term is. It's not a throwaway money. It's basically like money that you use to splendor, for yourself. After everything's done and set for, you paid your bills, your rent or your mortgage, your rent, your bills. You make sure you have enough money for food for the month, and your kids and your family. Especially if you have kids and family, that's a major thing. As long as all that shit's squared away, you can do whatever the fuck you want with the rest of the money. It's your deal. That's how I feel with gacha games. I don't like the sense of some players. You got to keep that in mind also, is that players who play gacha games are the ones who keep the games alive. So it does kind of get on my nerves when I see some players like really bash on whales or like players who spend money. They call you fucking whale, you all you do is fucking spend money, blah blah blah. Keep in mind that game companies need whales to keep the game alive, and they're basically the ones keeping the game alive. So if you ever see a game die, it's because the whales left, and that's why the game shut down. Again, there's a lot of stupid players that don't understand that. Don't understand, hey, you want to bash the whales? They're the ones that are keeping the game alive. As soon as they leave, hey, man, that game's shutting down, buddy. That's what's going to happen. What, you think your free-to-play ass is going to keep that game alive? No, it's not. So that's basically how I see it, Don't shame whales, because they're the ones they're the reason why the game's still running after years, after many years. That's why the game is still running. That's first. And secondly, just make sure your bills are paid before you start whaling, and make sure everything's squared away, and you're good. That's how I feel. And again, if you want to spend money and you don't want to spend much money on it, just like for me in my example with Path to Nowhere, where like You're producing a product that I like. Here's $30. And that should be it for like the overall aspects of gacha games. Like, well, not gacha games, but in the overall sense of like spending money. Now, when it comes to future games, I do want to cover Archlands later on. I think Archlands is one of those games that actually looks pretty cool. Uh, since playing Path to Nowhere, tactical RPGs have kind of become my favorite. So like genre, since Path to Nowhere. So I do want to try Archlands, and then maybe I'll try Star Rail. Maybe I'll try Star Rail. I have like a love-hate relationship with MiHoYo. Like, I really love the character art, the character designs, the world. I really like the way that they make their stories. I played Honkai Impact, and I played it for the story. And after done with the story, I kind of like, I still have it around, but I just don't play it. Again, they do a phenomenal job of that. I just don't like MiHoYo as a company. I feel like they're very predatory, and I feel like they're structured in a way that you guys are making an absorbent amount of money, and yet you're very stingy with your community. I feel like that's not okay. I feel like the kind of like the first sense of it was like when they did the anniversary for Genshin Impact, the first anniversary. You guys remember that crap? It's like, that's not really an anniversary. You guys don't really care about providing something for the people who are making sure that you guys are still standing. Giving a little bit extra to the community that's that's basically funding your company should, you should give a little bit more back. And I feel like that company hasn't learned from that mistake. I feel like that company's still very it's stingy as shit. All right, that's what I feel about MiHoYo in a general sense. It's just a stingy company. But I do want to try Honkai Star Rail because it looks cool. But I don't have my hopes for that game. It's just basically because of the company. That's basically it. But yeah, those are the two games I want to like cover in the future. It's just Honkai Star Rail and Archland. I think Archlands basically has more. I have more hopes for that game than any other game that's kind of been announced so far. It's just a beautiful looking game, and it actually looks like an anime. So it looks pretty cool. Now, when it comes to like the future of this channel and about what I want to do in the future, where I want to take this channel in general, I don't want to focus too much on mobile gaming like I used to. I will still be covering a few, but don't expect me to make constant videos. And this is Path to Nowhere. Don't expect me to make constant videos on mobile gaming like I used to. It's just, it didn't do so well for my mental health in just in the general sense. And that's something I got to take care of first. Again, if that is not something that you guys are liking, or you like, I can't support you in the future, Exile. I don't like the direction you're going with this channel. This is not why I subscribe. I'm sorry, but it's just I gotta move in a separate direction, because as soon as a game that's, for example, King's Raid, I lost a lot of support. I mean, I lost a lot. I can't have that, because if a game dies, it's just, you guys are just gonna walk away from me anyway. So might as well just move into a direction and where the market is kind of stabilized, not money wise, but like, like there's constant flow of content that I can make if I just make console gaming and just go with that one. At least it won't waver. At least I won't lose support unless I do something really bad. Then I'll lose support. Then I completely understand it. But it's like I mentioned in the beginning, with King's Raid. As soon as King's Raid started going bad and I started doing something completely different, I was kicked out of the community, I guess, in a way. So they told me to fuck off, so I did. And then what? Then I lost a lot of support. And it's just bound to happen, So that's why I want to move the channel in a different direction. And I feel like the direction I'm moving the channel into is pretty good. And if you guys want me to cover something completely specific, I'll definitely do that, But I'm not gonna do mobile gaming as hardcore as I used to. I feel like it's not a good move, and it's just in a general sense, Again, I apologize if you guys came to my channel in hopes that I'll be covering mobile gaming nonstop. Unfortunately, that's just not something I can do. again, I'm gonna be just keeping it tight with just Path to Nowhere, just playing that game for the channel itself. Again, if Archland like proves to be a really great game, fuck, I'll definitely cover that game on the channel. But as for the sense of mobile gaming, not really. You know, it's just not my cup of tea anymore. And it's just it didn't do so well for me. In the end, it didn't pay off. You know, and like I said, I don't make money from this game from doing this at all. And I didn't do it for the money. But it's not if if I don't get compensated in some aspect where like okay I have a tight knit community on my back and they're willing to continue to support my content, hence via staying subscribed, watching my videos, liking, sharing them, etc. That's the main purpose of it. If I don't have a community that's willing to stick with me thick and thin, I gotta walk away. You know, that's just the way I see it. And again, like I said, I don't make money from it, so it's not like I can. I'm getting a little bit back from what I put in. Gacha games are not an investment, but I feel like the direction I'm going with the channel itself, where I'm just buying console games, it is kind of like an investment for me because like okay, I'm buying something that I can enjoy, and even if the company dies, I can still play the game. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. Like I recently played Shadow of the Colossus, and even if the company no longer exists, I still have a PlayStation and I still have a copy of that game. And even if if the company dies, I can still play Shadow of the Colossus. I can't do that with a gacha game. Gacha game dies, that's it. I can never play that game again. It's very unfortunate. It really is. So again, that's just the direction I'm gonna move the channel in. I apologize if you guys don't like the direction I'm gonna be taking it. I can already tell most of you, a lot of you don't like the direction I'm going in. That's why my subscriber count I went down by a massive amount. I actually lost a lot of subscribers. So I sounded like I already know you guys don't like the direction I'm going in. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, but just the way the cookie crumbles at the end. That's it for this episode of Coffee with Exile. Again, I'm drinking cold coffee. It wasn't bad. I still don't suggest it though. Monster doesn't make good coffee. It tastes good. It's too sugary. But yeah, I know some of this stuff that I was talking about is just like random rambling. But it's just something I wanted to get off my chest. You know, one King Straight stuff. The other games I wanted to cover. Things I want to cover in the future, you know, just in general sense. Just to finish it off, again, the game I'm playing right now is a game called Salt and Sacrifice. It's a pretty cool game. It's like Dark Souls, but 2D. I did play the original Salt and Sanctuary, which is pretty good. This one seems to be a little bit more polished, so it looks cool. You guys do want me to play this for the channel, just let me know down in the comment section below, and I can make that happen. Aside from that, that should be it, man. I really hope you guys enjoyed this in a general sense. If you guys did, please like and share, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.